Welcome to my storybook world. As you can see from this picture, my books are all about animals. I hope you like animal stories. Animals live everywhere on our planet. In the air, on the land, in our oceans, rivers, lakes, and seas. From this picture, you can see birds flying in the sky, the land animals running and walking, and the fish, dolphins, whales, and squid in the ocean. Some like hot places, and some prefer cold places. Do you like the cold? There are animals that don't like the cold. Guess what they do? Some of them sleep in the winter so they stay warm. They hibernate, like hedgehogs, and some mice. Some go to a warm country in winter. They migrate, like these butterflies, and some birds. Here are some other animals who don't like the cold. Do you know them? Tortoise, snakes, frog, brown bear, hedgehog. These animals are dormice. Do you think they migrate? Do you think they hibernate? Have a guess. And now it's story time. Dormouse Snoremouse, written and illustrated by Gail Clarke. The wood was as silent could be. Dormouse slept in her nest in the trunk of a tree, snoring and snoring quietly. When a sudden loud noise disturbed her deep sleep, Dormouse opened her eyes to take a quick peep. What a fuss, what a din, what a twitter and chatter, she thought rather crossly. What can be the matter? Her whiskers twitched and so did her nose. She ran out of her nest on her little pink toes. Dormouse looked all around until she could see a large flock of birds on a branch in a tree, who seemed to be arguing angrily. What is going on? What's that noise all about? Cried Dormouse. What's making you squabble and shout? It's rather selfish and not very nice to disturb other creatures, especially dormice. One of the birds was shaking his head. We're so very sorry to disturb you, he said, but it's time for our winter migration, you know, and we're all very busy preparing to go. A migration, said Dormouse. Oh, what a good plan. I think I'll migrate somewhere warm if I can. And then an idea popped into her head. I must look for a friend to go with me, she said. Squirrel would come, I'm almost sure. I'll go right away and knock on his door. So off Dormouse ran as fast as she could to find her friend Squirrel, who lived in the wood. Hello, Squirrel, said Dormouse. How do you do? I'm going to migrate. Would you like to come too? Squirrel stopped for a moment and lifted his head. I'd love to come with you, Dormouse, he said, but I'm very busy collecting a store of acorns and nuts. I need lots and lots more. Soon the days will become shorter and darker, you know. Cold winds will arrive and so will the snow. I don't like the cold. I've decided to stay safe and asleep in my warm squirrel dray. When I wake in the spring, I'll need something to eat. These acorns and nuts will make a fine treat. Oh, what a pity, Dormouse said. I'll just have to find someone else instead. I must look for a friend who is wide awake. And off she scampered until she met Snake. Hello, Snake, Dormouse said. How do you do? I'm going to migrate. Would you like to come too? Come closer, Snake whispered. I need to be near you. This wood is too noisy. I really can't hear you. Dormouse was frightened. She was very surprised at Snake's sneaky words, but she soon realized Snake was thinking a dormouse could very well be a delicious snack for afternoon tea. So off Dormouse trotted as fast as she could to a place of safety deep in the wood. Phew, that was scary, she gulped as she said, I'd better find someone who's safer instead. Soon she met Hedgehog, curled up rather tightly. Would you like an adventure? She asked him politely. But Hedgehog was silent. He didn't reply. I think he's asleep, Dormouse said with a sigh. She ran on past a pool, and there she met Frog, sitting alone on a green mossy log. Hello, Frog, said Dormouse. How do you do? I'm going to migrate. Would you like to come too? I'd love to come with you, Frog croaked, rather loudly. I can leap very high and quite far, he said proudly. But when winter time comes, I dive very deep to lie in the mud, where I stay fast asleep. It's warm and it's snug, and these bubbles of air keep me alive when I'm sleeping down there. I'll stay underwater all winter through, so I'm sorry to say that I can't go with you. Oh, what a pity, Dormouse said. I'll just have to find someone else instead. So off she went with a sad little wave until she found Bat upside down in a cave. Hello, Bat, Dormouse said. How do you do? I'm going to migrate. Would you like to come too? Bat blinked at Dormouse. She was so sleepy-eyed. She yawned, oh, and she stretched, and then she replied, I don't like the daytime, I don't like the light, and I don't leave this cave till the dark of the night. Oh dear, Dormouse sighed, no one wants to go. I have asked all my friends, but they said no. Squirrel is busy collecting his food. Snake is so scary and rather too rude. Hedgehog's fast asleep in a prickly ball. And Frog doesn't want to move at all. The swallows have left. They have all flown away. They were in such a hurry, they just couldn't stay. Bat likes to sleep in his cave all alone. So I think I'll just have to go on my own. I'll start tomorrow. I'll wake up at dawn, she said with a very sleepy yawn. There's a warm little hole at the base of this tree. It's cozy, it's snug, and it's perfect for me. So Dormouse curled up for a nice little rest. And what happened next, I am sure you have guessed. She fell fast asleep in her warm, cozy nest. Her eyes were shut tight, and she started to snore in her snug little bed on the quiet forest floor, and she stayed fast asleep for many weeks more. In autumn, the leaves turned to yellow and brown, and Dormouse slept on as they all tumbled down. In winter, snow fell, turning everything white, but her snoring continued all day and all night. Dormouse slept soundly through wind, rain, and storm, till at last spring arrived and the days became warm. She twitched her long whiskers and opened her eyes, and Dormouse woke up to a lovely surprise. There were leaves on the trees, a fresh carpet of green, and the bluest blue sky she had ever seen. Just then, Dormouse heard a shrill chirping sound. She popped out of her hole and looked all around. She saw several swallows hopping about. "We are back, we are back," she heard them all shout. Dormouse yawned. Then she stretched, shaking her head. "I must have been sleeping a long time," she said. A swallow winked one bright twinkly eye. "You certainly have," came his reply. Frogs, bats and squirrels, they don't migrate. They sleep through the winter. They hibernate. So do hedgehogs and snakes and small creatures like you. It's a sensible thing for a dormouse to do. But now spring has arrived, and so has the sun. So come along, Dormouse, and let's have some fun. The end. Now, what do you think? Does a dormouse migrate or hibernate? I'm sure you've got it right now. Yes, they hibernate. Well done. I hope you enjoyed the story, and I hope that you'll join me again soon for another one. Bye for now.